Have you ever stopped to think about thinking? That invisible force that makes you, well, you? The mystery of consciousness has puzzled scientists and philosophers for centuries, and here's the shocking truth. Evolution completely fails to explain it. Take a moment. Look around you. Everything you see, hear, and feel right now is being processed by your consciousness. The colors, sounds, emotions, they're all coming together in this extraordinary symphony of awareness. But how? The evolutionary theory would have you believe this miracle emerged from random mutations in natural selection. Let's expose why this explanation falls spectacularly short. First, let's consider the hard problem of consciousness. Physical processes in your brain, neurons firing, chemicals flowing, that's one thing. But how does this create the subjective experience of being you? How does matter give rise to mind? Evolution has no answer, none. Zero. Think about this mind-blowing fact. Your consciousness is the only thing you can be absolutely certain exists. Everything else, the physical world, other people, even your own body, you experience through consciousness. Yet, evolutionists want us to believe this fundamental aspect of reality just happened by accident? Let's do a thought experiment. Imagine trying to explain the color red to someone who's never seen it. Impossible, right? That's because consciousness creates qualia subjective experiences that can't be reduced to physical descriptions. How could random mutations possibly create something so profound and non-physical? Here's where it gets even more fascinating. Your consciousness can contemplate infinity, understand abstract concepts, and appreciate beauty. These abilities have zero survival value in evolutionary terms. A simple stimulus response mechanism would be enough for survival and reproduction. Why would blind evolution produce creatures that can ponder their own existence and contemplate the meaning of life? Consider the phenomenon of near-death experiences. People who are clinically dead report detailed, vivid experiences, often sharing striking similarities across cultures and times. How does evolution explain consciousness existing when the brain has stopped functioning? It can't. The more we learn about consciousness, the more it defies materialistic explanations. Did you know that quantum physics has shown that consciousness might actually affect physical reality at the subatomic level? The famous double-slit experiment suggests that the mere act of observation changes how particles behave. This is completely inexplicable through evolutionary theory. Let's talk about free will. Your consciousness can make decisions that go against biological impulses. You can choose to fast, sacrifice yourself for others, or dedicate your life to abstract pursuits like mathematics. These abilities completely contradict the evolutionary narrative of survival-driven behavior. And here's something that will blow your mind. The human brain processes millions of bits of information every second, but you're only consciously aware of a tiny fraction. Yet this awareness can be directed at will. You can choose what to focus on, what to remember, what to analyze. How could such a sophisticated control system emerge through random mutations? The emergence of language and abstract thought presents another insurmountable challenge to evolutionary theory. We don't just communicate, we create poetry, music, and art. We contemplate our own mortality and search for meaning. These aren't survival traits. They're expressions of a consciousness that transcends physical existence. Look at the precision and purpose in consciousness. It integrates information from all your senses, maintains your sense of self, stores and retrieves memories, and enables complex decision-making all instantaneously. To suggest this arose by chance is like saying a tornado sweeping through a junkyard could assemble a supercomputer. The evolutionary explanation becomes even more absurd when we consider the unity of consciousness. Despite your brain having different specialized regions, you experience reality as a seamless whole. There's no evolutionary mechanism that could explain how separate neural processes combine into a single, unified, conscious experience. Critics might argue that consciousness emerged gradually through increasing neural complexity, but this explanation falls flat. Consciousness is binary. You either have it or you don't. There's no such thing as being half-conscious. It's an all-or-nothing phenomenon that defies gradual evolutionary development. What we're really seeing here is evidence of intelligent design so profound it takes your breath away. Every aspect of consciousness points to purposeful creation, the ability to reason, to love, to contemplate existence itself. These are not accidents of evolution, but gifts that reflect a higher purpose. As we draw to a close, let's reflect on this verse from the Holy Quran that perfectly captures this truth. In Surah Al-Sajdah, verse 9, Allah says, "Then he fashioned him and breathed into him of his spirit." This divine breath, this consciousness, is what makes us human. It's not a product of random chance, but a deliberate gift from our Creator. The next time someone tells you consciousness evolved by accident, remember this. They're asking you to believe that blind, purposeless processes created the very thing that allows us to understand purpose. They're asking you to believe that random mutations produce the ability to recognize that things aren't random. They're asking you to deny the evidence of your own consciousness, the one thing you can be absolutely certain exists. The truth is clear. Consciousness isn't a product of evolution. It's a signature of divine creation. It's time we opened our eyes to this obvious reality. After all, isn't that what consciousness is for?